Good morning. So I want to tell you about these babies behind me. Let me see if I can get the camera out. They have teeth, and they're not being gentle because we let them go last night, which means they got moved out of individual housing to group housing. As you can see, the pen behind me. There's 4 of them we let go last night. She is the one over there. She's the loud one, disapproving. And the ones licking me is, these 2 are just quiet and just looking for their milk. And actually, they've been weaned off milk for a while now. So, everything with calves, you can equate to human children, but everything is accelerated with them. So, I'm getting eaten and bit. And trying not to let them get the ring off my finger. So, what was I saying? Okay, so humans. So, you can equate cows to humans in some ways. I'm gonna have a scrape from that. They have really sharp teeth. But, things are accelerated with cows. And so, these calves are 60 days old. And they are ready to be off milk. They are eating grain. This is the grain that we feed them. It's a... okay, I gotta move a little further away because she is biting me for some reason. So they get grain in the stall and in individual housing, and they are, once they're eating it good, then we start weaning them off, and that's usually around when they get fully weaned is 60 days. And so for a couple weeks I start giving them, I don't, some farmers do it differently. Everyone has their own method, and like there are, I've heard the saying, the number of farms there are in the U.S., there's that number of ways to do something, and that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just different, and that's what works for that farm, and that's great. So what we do is I start putting less milk in. We give them whole milk, so straight from whichever moms we have. They get their mom's milk for the first couple feedings, and then after that it's whoever's mom is being milked. It's just as good. So we I started giving them less milk and more water, and gradually over, like I said, a couple weeks, start just weaning them off of milk. And the reason why they get so upset is because they don't realize that I'm giving them less milk because I'm doing it so gradually. It's the fact that there's no more buckets, and they get very used to a certain routine, and they get used to me bringing them their buckets. And so I don't bring them their buckets. I didn't bring them their buckets this morning, and they're watching me take buckets to all the others. Hi, Teddy. He wanted to come say hi. And so they're getting a little disgusted with me. And this one over here, she's just been quiet and standing there since I've came over. I think she's just a silent moper. But they're very healthy calves. They've gained, I figured it out at one point, they gain like 2 pounds a day from the time that they're born, and most of our calves are about 80-90 pounds when they're born. So 2 times 60 is 120. That don't seem right. Okay, so that's not right, because because we want them to gain, the goal is 2 pounds a day per calf. But that's an ideal goal, and that's not always the case, because some days they don't feel so well, so they don't eat as much. And They lose a little of their baby weight after a few days, because that was extra weight to keep them warm, or just baby fat. So they're probably close to 200 pounds when we let them go, but probably not quite. It's kind of an average, and I do tape them, but I haven't taped these guys yet. I forgot to before we moved them. The ear tag is so that we can identify them, and actually this one here, her name is Dolly. She was named by a friend that came to visit the farm because of her eyelashes. So Dolly is 551, and she will keep that tag and that number for her whole life. And that way we know who she is and her history. And she will get a second ear tag once we give them their vaccines. So they're 2 months now, so 2 more months they'll get vaccines, and another round of vaccines, and that's when they'll get their second ear tag, because they have to put, the federal government requires a tattoo in that ear, so that if they lose their identification, they still have the tattoo. So we don't put the ear tag in until the vet puts in the tattoo. So these are our healthy, happy babies that are no longer getting milk, but they haven't been getting milk. They just are no longer getting buckets, and they will be upset with me for a couple days, and then they'll get over it. And yeah, I don't know if she'll get over it. She's the loudest of the bunch. So if you have any questions, as always, shout them out and I will try to answer them. Have a great day, guys.